So we're here in the shop, and this is going to be about making some target stands with just simple materials, and you may even have some steel laying around that you can use. I did buy some new steel, it was cheap, it didn't really cost much, and I have way more than I'll ever need, and I'll have some spare steel left over for any other projects I'll have. Now, I can weld and I can make it stick, but I am not a professional welder or anything like that, so you're on your own on that one. What we're going to be making, first off, is these what I call H-style target stands, and what I use these for is due to the fact that they're steel and they're really low profile and lightweight, and they can stack on top of each other really easily in the bed of my truck for when I go to the range. And what I do is I take a well, let's see here, hold on just a second. So what I do is I take they're designated as 2 by 2, but they're actually like 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches at the lumber yard. And then you just take and you drop those 2 2x2s down in that 2x2 square tubing. It's a lot of 2. And then you staple your targets, either your IPSC or USPSA targets. You staple that to those 2 sticks coming out, and then all you have to worry about is replacing the 2 sticks that, you know, once they get shot up or whatever, because eventually your wood will end up looking like this. These were what I had for my my steel target, my human silhouette steel targets. And so ideally you would like, I would personally, I like having wood to hold it and then having a steel base, because you know that the wood is going to absorb impact, and whereas maybe if you had 2 pieces of steel holding it up, it may refract and come back and hit you like I got hit the other day. But look, this is a disclaimer. Shooting steel is dangerous. If you do not know what you're doing or realize the risk associated with shooting steel, do not do it. Do not shoot steel with a rifle at close ranges, 50 yards or under. You know, you want to at least shoot 50 yards. We typically shoot steel at 100 yards. For 1, it's safer, and 2, it doesn't tear up the steel as much. Because if you shoot 5.56 at a steel target close range, you're going to get hit and it could kill you. So shoot steel at your own risk. Make sure that your steel is AR 500 or up, or AR 550. The reason being is that AR 500 is tempered to an extreme amount of heat in a particular tolerance. You know, I don't really know the whole science behind it, but I know the damn steel is hardened and tempered to a degree that it has a particular hardness that is abrasion resistant. AR means abrasion resistant. That doesn't mean Armalite rifle or anything stupid like that. It's abrasion resistant to whatever that nomenclature is, the 500. So it's really, really hard steel. Whereas with regular carbon steel, the same stuff that we're going to be making the target stands out of, it's soft. It is hard because it's steel, but it's soft, and you can really ding it up. And once, say you got a target that is non-AR 500, and you start getting these dimples in it, then a bullet that you're shooting could hit one of those dimples and refract back in an unpredictable manner. And another thing is that you want your pistol steel to hang at about 20 degrees, 15 to 20 degrees. And so what happens is the bullet comes in and then goes down, right? But if it's like this and it can't move and it's rigid, it's going to come straight back. So you need to keep that in mind. I believe the preferred degree of angle for rifle steel is 30 degrees. But we're going to get into that later, because I want to build something to hold my human silhouette targets. steel targets, and hopefully I can come up with a design that I can either hang it at 30 degrees for rifle when we put it out at 100 yards, or put it at 15 degrees for smaller, small arms fire, 9mm, 45, stuff like that. So be sure, eye protection, huge deal. Because if I would have got hit where I got there, if that would have hit me in the eye and I wasn't wearing eye protection, I would have lost my eye. There's no question. Because if it was hard enough to blow a hole in my shirt and make a hole in my arm, it would have wiped my eye out. And you only have 2 of them. So wear eye protection, and preferably wear jeans if you're going to shoot steel. Because I got hit in the leg and it actually made me bleed through my pants. So think about this safely, this safety whenever you go to shooting steel. And of course, follow all the other firearms cardinal rules. Know your target, know what is beyond it. So we're going to get into this. I'm going to start cutting up the pieces, and we'll go through the measurements, and I'll tell you all that as we go along. After I get them cut, I'll show you the different sizes, and then we'll start putting it together. So stay tuned. All right, y'all. We got all our pieces cut. And well, for the 2 additional target stands that are the bases that are going to be for the IPSC cardboard or paper targets, I'm going to take you over here and show you the pieces that I cut out, and give you some measurements and kind of show you what we got going on. So what we got is we got 1, 2. Excuse the bad cameraman. We got 4-inch pieces of 2x2 metal tubing. All right, and then we have an 18-inch, 2 18-inch pieces that are going to be for our cross members, and then we have 4 of these 16-inch pieces. Okay, so essentially, this is not going to be rocket science, y'all. This is just some quick and dirty target stands that are going to last longer than I need them to. You just take and you put that in there, center this up between the 2 brackets there, and then put you a tack weld on both sides, and then tack weld that in there. And so overall you're 18 inches wide outside of tubing to outside of tubing, and that's how wide a USPSA or IPSC cardboard target is. So and I'm pretty sure we'll actually go grab us a USPSA target and check it out, and we'll actually set one of these up, and I'll show you what it looks like. But that's going to make that 10-foot joint of angle, made all those, made 4 side brackets, and then 2 cross members, and then those are 4 inches, so you can imagine how many of those you can get out of a 10-foot stick. But one 10-foot stick of angle iron will make 2 of these bases, and then you'll have a lot left over if you buy a joint of square tubing. But I bought 2 20-foot stalks, so I'm gonna have a total of 4 of these targets to hang paper and cardboard on, and then I'm gonna start, after I weld all this together, I'm gonna try and figure out how to do the steel silhouette targets. But this is a look at my extreme